Congratulations, gentlemen. Well done. Thank you very much.
What's happening, everybody? So today was the Krabi International Triathlon. It was an Olympic distance race. Well, almost. It was an Olympic distance, but with a 12-kilometer run. So that's 1.5 kilometers swim, 40-kilometer bike, and then it was a 12-kilometer run instead of a 10-kilometer run. And yeah, it went pretty well. I was pretty happy with you know, the effort that I gave today and the result that I was able to get. I ended up coming second in my age group, which was 18 to 29, and overall, including all the pros who showed up and everything like that, I finished 12th overall. So not bad, definitely an improvement. When you look at my times, I won't like say exactly what all my times were, but I'll post a link down below. You can check out the stats and see all that stuff. I'll also post the Strava files, but basically just want to quickly walk you through the race, what basically happened. So I woke up on time today. That was really nice. Woke up at 4 o'clock, was able to relax and just slowly, get all my stuff together. I had most of it together the night before anyways, but I was able to have my breakfast and take it easy on the way to the race and get my transition all set up. Last time, for those of you guys who don't know, I woke up like 10 minutes before the race in Pattaya, and I was just like scrambling to get to the start line, so that was not fun. So today was much better in terms of that. And yeah, so the swim, it was very interesting. They ended up, it was supposed to start at 6:30, but the tide was very, very low and there was actually no water. It's a really long, shallow beach, and the tide goes way, way out. Like it was, like the entire swim course was sand at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or whatever it was. And so the tide was coming in, and we ended up moving the start time back to 7 o'clock. And even at 7 o'clock, it was still, we had to run quite a ways to get out to the actual water. When we did get to the water, it was so shallow. Most people were, still running through the water or doing dolphin dives once it got deep enough. I had to do a lot of dolphin dives today, and I'd like never done dolphin dives before. So yeah, that was interesting. But we did swim probably half the first lap. It was 2 laps of 750 meters, and the second lap there was more swimming because the tide had come in more, but still lots of dolphin dives, lots of running. And actually got stung by a jellyfish just as I was getting out of the water. Got stung by a jellyfish, and it was a pretty decent jellyfish sting. It was not like a small jellyfish sting, and it hurt a lot for pretty much the whole triathlon, but it was good, like little extra shot of adrenaline, if that's at all possible. So yeah, getting out of that, got transition into the bike. My Garmin 910 XT broke a few weeks back, so I borrowed a 310 XT from my friend Mike. He was kind enough to lend it to me, but unfortunately the power meter my Stages power meter had broken just a week ago, so I got a refurbished Stages power meter that seemed to be working okay yesterday, but when I went to the transition and was trying to pick it up on the bike, it was just not coming alive. So I had no power meter for the bike, which is okay. I could go by feel pretty well, but it would have been nice to have a power meter, more so just to look back and to analyze it and to see how it felt, and to just go off of that for the next race. But yeah, I just went by heart rate and by feel on the bike, and I had a pretty good bike split. It was definitely a lot faster than the last race, and it was an even hillier course, so I think that I improved on the bike leg a lot. The transition was quick as well because it was set up this time. Last race it wasn't even set up. But yeah, the bike was going really well, and then went on the run, started pretty good, and it was basically an out and back along the road that goes along the beach, and it was 2 loops of 6 kilometers each. And I remember when I was coming back and I was just about to go on that second loop, I was like, oh man, I was getting all in my head because it was supposed to be 10 kilometers, and then just at the last minute they were like, oh, it's actually 12 kilometers. And just mentally it was playing with me a little bit, and I was getting kind of negative in my head on that second lap, and I was feeling fatigued. I was feeling like 1 lap is enough. Like I was just contemplating just stopping, just quitting. But then I'm thinking this is just a voice in my head that I need to learn to quiet down. That's a lot of what racing is. Well, and just training, training sport in general it's so mental. The mental sort of discipline that you develop doing things like this is probably one of the most valuable parts of doing the whole thing. So yeah, I was able to just quiet that voice and just try to remain positive and yeah, it was all going really well, and then basically at around the 8 or 9 kilometer mark, I got a really bad stitch in my side, like right just the side of my stomach, and it was just like somebody stabbed me with a knife or something. It was a really bad stitch, and I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe I should have taken in some electrolytes or something. All I had was water and 2 small dried bananas on the bike ride, and it is definitely a lot more humid here. I was sweating probably a lot more than I'm used to in Chiang Mai, and because the race started later, by this time on the run it was pretty hot at this time. This would have been like, I don't know, but it was probably like 30 degrees or whatever. And yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm gonna have to look at the nutrition and hydration strategy for the next race. But yeah, cramped pretty hard, and there was there were a couple guys who I'd passed on the bike, and right at this, well, actually right before this point, I stopped to, because I was feeling fatigued, and I stopped to just pick up a water. I didn't stop, I was still running, but I grabbed the water and I was just sort of slowing down, taking a drink of the water, and then these 2 guys who I'd passed on the bike, came running past me, and I was like, okay, no, I gotta stay with these guys. And they were doing a pace that normally I should totally be able to sustain, but that was right when, probably about 30 seconds after running with those guys at their pace, it was just like this stitch just totally took me out, and I tried to run with it as much as I could, but I just had to stop, and well, not stop, but walk for a little while and just sort of try to breathe through it. And I took a little bit of an electrolyte drink at the next aid station, and for a couple of kilometers it was pretty rough. I was doing like I'm not sure exactly, maybe like 5:30 kilometers, 5-minute kilometers for a couple of Ks, and ideally I would have been going sub 4-minute kilometers for the whole thing, but yeah, it doesn't work like that. So this did not go according to plan. The last kilometer I was able to sort of breathe through it, and I felt good that last kilometer going into the finish, which was nice. But yeah, it was not, things don't always go as you expect them to go, but you have to just sort of play the hand you're dealt, and just do the best you can, and try to stay mentally positive throughout things when they don't go as you're expecting them to. So that was definitely today's lesson, and yeah, it was a great event. I think that it was kind of a shame about the tide. Would have been nice if they could have planned it. I don't know. I know the tide depends on the moon and stuff like that, but yeah, with a shallow beach like that, maybe they'll have to look at a different location for next year. But the event itself was really well organized. Beautiful place to have a triathlon here in Krabi. And yeah, I guess that's all I want to say about that. Anything else I want to say? No, I think that's it. Maybe I'll do another video if there's anything I forgot, but let me know if you guys have any questions, post them down below, and I'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.